Quantum Securities joins us on the show. Good morning, Sanjay. Well, what's the feeling? Is 7,900 or 7,000 thereabouts, the sub 8,000 level, a decent bottom to work with?
Oh yes, I think I can reasonably confidently say that, barring major unforeseen events, that's probably cast in stone, that 7,800, 7,900 level, because valuations get compelling there. Things are looking better now overall in the economy. The overbought position that came in post-elections last year has been corrected. So I think that will definitely hold. I don't see any reason why we'll go lower than that level. Unless, heavens fall apart or something.
Okay, actually I must start by congratulating you. I was actually fishing for the last comment you made. Our headline when you spoke to us on June 4th was, start buying as Nifty may hold 7,900. And you said, I like PSU banks. So that's the headline we went with. Sanjay, congratulations. 7,900 held, and if people had heard you, they would have pocketed at least 5% gains, which is damn good in, 3 weeks' time. But let's meet up the PSU banks.
And one more, you've forgotten, Lata, you've forgotten one more stock where you probably have conflict of interest. That was Reliance Industries also I mentioned.
Okay, the headlines didn't have them, but I'm sure if I read through the copy, I'm going to get that as well. No, but Sanjay, let me start with the PSU banks. You had indicated that now the negativity is there in the price. We've got overnight news with the Finance Secretary telling Shireen Bhan that now the capital amount has been raised to 20,000 crores, $3 billion, and double that for the next year. Do you think now that's sufficient fuel to see through at least some of the better managed banks?
Oh yes, I have no doubt about that. In fact, more than the bank capitalization, like I've been saying that, contrary to what people feel, the government and the RBI governor are totally in sync. RBI governor is spending a lot of time and effort in cleaning up banking practices. In fact, if you recollect, we had a discussion last time post the bank policy that people missed out a lot of stuff, and you wrote a lovely piece in the Mint, which I read later on. RBI governor has been a lot of stuff other than just the repo rate or CR and SLR, which we keep all just reading about. And similarly now, the government is pitching in by doing its best, whether it's on the inflation front. Look what the government did on the MSP. I think it was marvelous. Just a nominal increase the MSP at a time when people have been, talking about the farmers, the land bill, etc., etc. So I'm very clear that given all these, piece of news that are around and actions that are being taken, we're definitely in a positive spot for the banking sector as a whole. I think bad days for the banking sector are out of the way. Serious effort is being taken up to sort out the NPA issues, restructuring of company balance sheets. The bankers are really nudging hard. In fact, more than nudging, I know for a fact they're kicking hard now, kicking the promoters to sort out their problems, whatever they need to do.
Okay. Hi Sanjay, good morning. You spoke about the bottom for the markets being around at 7,800, 7,900, but what are the upside? Can we go back and see levels of 9,000, 9,100 in the Nifty? How would you see, the markets on the way up in the next few months?
If I call it about 8,900, 9,000 was to sell the market and be ready for a reasonably good correction, which did happen, I think my call now is that get ready for a new high this year, this calendar year in fact. Because I anticipate if monsoons go off well, as what's happened, they've surprised us, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed in July and August. And some amount of, investment cycle uptake we are seeing. Government is aggressively taking step on infra funding, infra financing, as well as infra spending. And, along with bank balance sheets being sorted out, I don't see any reason why September, December results of major corporates will start looking much better than what they were. June quarter might be still tough and iffy, but, I think September, December onwards, the numbers would definitely start looking good. If not the numbers, the outlook of most of the company CEOs and CFOs would change for the better. And then obviously we'll start looking at the next FI numbers when we look at during the December quarter. So I don't see any reason why we will not make a new high sometime towards, September, October this year, or maybe earlier even if monsoon goes off well.
Okay. What's the take on Reliance now?
I think that's the best bet amongst the large cap. People are forgetting the fact. People just keep focusing on, GRMs and, those kind of teeny-weeny issues, gas price, blah, blah, blah. But, it's a true story that's evolving now and will start paying results over the next 2 to 3 years. The kind of value that will unlock both in terms of retail, telecom, everything else, the real benefits will now start kicking in over the next 2 years. And I don't see any reason why the stock should not be up 50% from here in the next 12 to 18 months with a very limited downside risk. I think it's one of the stocks in the large cap sector which has the best risk reward ratio at this point of time, limited downside and a reasonably good upside in the next 1.5 to 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. If Rel Jio turns out to be as terrain changing as Rel Infocom was in its earliest years, then yes, we should see something else altogether. But well, those were my comments, and for that I will have to read out the disclaimer. Reliance Industries owns Network 18 and TV 18, the companies that operate CNBC TV 18. That's my disclosure, not Sanjay Dutt's. Okay, Sanjay, the other set of stocks, if PSU banks are a proxy for the economy and you're betting strong on them, would you go with any of the capital goods guys, L&T for instance?
No, I'm a tad skeptical about these extra diversified engineering conglomerates like L&T and BHEL, etc. Not BHEL that much, but more L&T because it's one of the rare cases which has its kind of finger in every pie under the sun at this point of time. And plus its order book is stretched, probably may run into some execution problems for a quarter or two. Its ability to take on more business in this new infra rollout, maybe a little bit at risk. So I'm not that gung-ho about L&T at this point of time.
But, that was a fair charge maybe 10, 15 years ago when they had cement with them, they had finance with them. But they have since divested most of that. You would still hold the charge they have a finger in too many pies?
Lata, you're fading out. I can't.
Okay.
I'm losing you on the audio. Sorry.
All right. Should we do one thing? Why don't we take a break and dial into Sanjay Dutt yet again? Or Nima, do you want to try?
Yeah. Sanjay, is my audio reaching you?
No.
Okay, I think we'll just slip into a very short break.
I've been speaking with Sanjay Dutt, Director of Quantum Securities. Sanjay, to veer away from the economy-facing stocks, what are your bets now in, say, IT pharma?
Oh, I like Infosys in particular because it's gone ex-bonus at this point of time. The recent statements and, what the new management is doing. I think definitely there's a good opportunity there at this point of time. But obviously it's a buy and hold stock. It's not a stock which will give you a return, which will give you returns in a month or two. But this could be a good entry point for the stock because I think once again, given the current management and we can expect good old days for Infosys to be back. That's what I like amongst the large caps. Pharmaceutical, I'm a little skeptical. I've always maintained that I don't really understand that too much, and I find that too risky a space to be in, both because of various, regulatory issues overseas, as well as now a lot's coming up in India also. So pharmaceutical is something which I really wouldn't want to play, barring a few trades here and there that opportunities come up in a Strides or a Lupin or something. But as a co-portfolio, I wouldn't really be giving much weight to pharmaceuticals.
Okay. Just asking about one particular stock, Sun TV, that's down nearly about 4%. In this saga, what should an investor in Sun TV do? Because he's already lost some amount of money if he's bought in the last maybe month or so. So, with this tussle between the I&B ministry as well as the Home Ministry, it's the shareholder which is, who's stuck. So what would your advice be?
I think at the first sign of trouble, particularly regulatory trouble, one should run. That's the past experience been in all the stocks, irrespective of sector. And I think the same rule, it's a value judgment or a fundamental judgment on Sun TV, but I think it's the same rule that will apply here also, because you don't know how this whole regulatory mess really pans out. Is there more trouble in store? So on a good day when the stock, probably rallies because of some positive news flow, because news flow also flip-flop when you're in the news for wrong reasons. So when there is some positive news or some expectation, use that time to exit. And like I said, that anything that gets into regulatory issues, it takes a little time to sort out. So in that time, investors must realize that, they should get out those positions and maybe go somewhere else and come back and revisit it. We've seen it in the case of 2G stocks. We've seen it in the case of Colgate stocks, like excellent companies like Jindal Steel and Power, etc. So whenever we get into these kind of issues, investor really bears the brunt of it. So first sign of trouble, just run. That's what it really is, the rule that I apply.
Okay. All right, Sanjay. It's as always a pleasure listening to you. Thank you very much for all the micro and macro observations.